You may have seen all of the different real estate headlines that have been coming out over the past couple of weeks. The market is starting to shift. It's starting to change a little bit. But today I'm here to tell you, don't let those headlines be the thing that scares you this Halloween. Hi, this is Andrew with the Andrew Smith team at eXp Realty. And if you've seen any of the videos I've done recently, we've talked a lot about keeping things in perspective. And I just want to come back to that point here again today. And now I'd like to start by saying I'm not trying to convince you of anything. You need to make the decision that's best for you and your family. Absolutely. But I want you to be able to make that decision based on the actual data, not on a lot of those headlines and the clickbait, if you like, that's out there. You know, the job of the headlines is to get you to watch, right? Or to get you to click on something and read the story. But the truth is most people, when they see these headlines, don't ever listen to the story or click into the article. They just see the headline without having all of the background information. And that can give an unrealistic or untrue version of what's actually going on. Now, as you know, the real estate market has been absolutely red hot. And we've been talking for a while now about things starting to cool off. There's been signs of it. And it depends where in the country you are. You know, here in Frisco, Texas, where I'm based right now, the market's still extremely active. There's still a tremendous amount of buyer activity. Multiple offers are still the norm. There's still bidding wars going on like crazy, and there's very limited inventory. But saying that, we are noticing some changes. And over the past few months, I've shared with you Showing Time's Showing Activity Index. And Showing Time is a service that agents can use to book appointments on homes. It automates the whole process, and you can schedule the times that you're going to see. And for the second month in a row, we've seen the level of showing activity, or Showing Time is reporting that the level of showing activity is holding steady. Okay, but again, we need to put that into some perspective. Okay, so right now, as of September, the Showing Activity Index is running at 175.5. Now, if we go back 1 year, the Showing Activity Index was 184.5. So we're down 9 points. So again, you can see a headline here that says showing activity falls. But let's go back. The Showing Activity Index in September of 2019 was 112.2. 2018, 106.9. 2017, 111.3. I know I'm just reciting some numbers here. And if you actually click the link below to visit my blog post, you can actually follow along with these graphs if you would prefer. The point being here is that even though the numbers are down for 2020, for 2020, they're down from 2021, from 2020, they're still way up over what we would normally see in September. So again, it's really important to make sure that you understand what's going on behind many of these headlines. Here's another one I want to point out to you. This was very interesting here. And it was actually a report that was a news story on Realtor.com. And the headline read, "Foreclosures are shooting up. Is it a repeat of the early 2000s housing crisis?" Now, again, I've covered forbearance and foreclosure in quite a lot of detail, and you can click through some of the prior videos I've done on that. Nothing there has really changed. Okay, so here's what I'd like to point out about that headline. When you start reading it, it says that foreclosure starts are up 49% year over year. And that's completely true. But again, some perspective is in order here. In August of 2020, there were 5,603 foreclosure starts. In August of 2021, there were 8,348. So were they up 49%? Yes, they were. But again, in August of 2019, there were 28,000 foreclosure starts for the month. So are they up year over year? Yes, a moratorium was in place, and that moratorium has just ended. So some of those starts are coming up, but the levels are still so far below what we normally see. And it's really important to point out The foreclosures are a part of every single market, every single year. They just happen. The difference right now is, and one of the reasons why I've been saying I don't think we're going to see a lot of foreclosures, and the reason you aren't seeing those come onto the market yet, is the amount of equity that people have gained over the last 12 months and more. Many of the people that have not been paying a mortgage actually had the equity in their house go up more than the amount that it would have been reduced by had they been making the payment. So for instance, if their mortgage payment is $2,000 a month and they didn't make the payment, and that $24,000 was added to their loan balance, it didn't matter because the average house went up 51,000, right? So they actually gained equity by not making any payments, as funny as that sounds. That's just the market that we've been in. Another one here, just to kind of point out, CNBC recently put a report out, and the headline was, mortgage originations will drop by 33% in 2022 as interest rates rise, according to industry forecasts. Well, again, you read that headline and it's like, oh my gosh, people are going to stop buying homes. According to this, maybe we shouldn't be in the market to buy. But again, perspective. When you actually go into that article and take a look at the data behind it, it actually says they're expecting refinance originations will drop by 62% in 2022 due to rising interest rates. However, mortgage originations for the purpose of buying a new home are actually forecast to increase 9% in 2022. When they average all of this together, they're saying total mortgage originations may fall. But the bulk of that is being done in the refinance space, not the new mortgage originations. Okay, and again, last thing here, I mean, home sales right now, they're expected to remain strong. 6.5 million homes sold in 2020 in the United States. That's a record. That's the highest it's been. And right now in 2021, we're on pace right now to actually beat that, even considering the level of inventory that we've had. I've repeatedly said we can't sell what isn't for sale. And one of the reasons that you're seeing total home sales fall compared to 2020 and the pending sales go down month over month, there's hardly anything for sale. And this is the time of year when inventory typically goes down anyway. So again, I only share this with you in the hopes to clarify some of the information that's out there. I do offer a monthly or actually a weekly market report now. You can research any city or zip code in the entire country. I will put a link to that in the description below as well. And that allows you to track what's going on specific to your market. So hopefully this helps. And as always, if you have any questions whatsoever, I invite you to give me a call, 888-447-9650. And if you want to be notified whenever I put out new information just like this, go ahead and subscribe to this channel and hit that little bell icon. We'll look forward to catching up with you again next week.